In this episode, we're going to introduce to you the concept of the 59.5 rebellion. We're going to rethink retirement. We're going to discuss why your retirement transition should begin before you ever leave. Things that you're thinking about, like your schedule, your mindset, and your money, are all on the table. So buckle up, fellow rebel. Here we go. I'm hoping when I turn 59.5 that I'll have a chance to take a few weeks off away from the practice and have Will and Kim and everybody running things for us while we're away so that I can see what it's like. And I've talked to a lot of clients that have retired, and a few of them did do extended vacation or just time away from work, just to kind of get a feel for what that was like. So in terms of time, I want you to test drive having a little bit of time away from whatever you're doing now, whether it's running a business or a career, and see how that feels. And you may find that you really like it, you may find that you don't. And if you don't, it gives you a chance to re-engineer how you want to spend your time at work. That maybe you do want to extend work, but not in the same way that you're doing it now. Things like that. So challenge one is just take a look at your time. The second is to look at spending. We're going to talk a little bit here in the future about financial flexibility. But when it comes to spending, when you hit 59.5, I'm going to tell you something today that most financial advisors, CPAs, tax professionals would say is nuts. But what happens when you turn 59.5 is that up until this point, your 401k monies, your IRA dollars, they've all been tax deferred, which means you haven't paid any taxes on your gains. You've been able to let that money grow, and you haven't been taxed on it as that growth has occurred. At 59.5, the IRS will no longer levy a 10% penalty on any money that you pull out of your plans at 59.5. So what I want you to think about is actually pulling some money out when you turn 59.5, just as a thumbs up to the government, to whomever you want to say it's going towards, but saying I'm going to pull some of this money out because I've saved it. Those penalties are no longer there, and I'm going to take advantage of this. So I know this seems a little antithetical because when you pull that money out, yes, you're going to be taxed. There'll be some ordinary income taxes on that money that you pulled. I want it to feel liberating for you, that you are liberating yourself to say, I no longer have to keep this money in there if I don't want to. I'm going to use just a little bit of it, and the amount doesn't matter. It can be completely personal to you. I'm by no means saying cash in all of your retirement savings. What I'm saying is take a little bit out and use it for something really special, whether it's maybe a trip, whether it's something you've been thinking about purchasing, maybe it's just something little that you want to do, an evening out, whatever the case may be. But taking a little bit of money out at 59.5, what I'm wanting you also to get a feel for is what it's going to feel like when you retire. Because all of these years, your mindset has been on accumulation. And that's really important. You've been accumulating money, you've been saving it, you've been trying to get it ready for those big stages of retirement. Now you're gonna have to get used to that money coming out. And for a lot of folks, that is very, very hard. You're shifting 40 years of brain energy that's been going towards accelerating and growing this money. And now you're actually gonna be spending it, using it for what all this savings has been for. And for most, it can be a challenge. I've seen this a lot in practice, where you see your balances start to either even out or go down. You're like, oh no, this doesn't feel good. And so what happens is a lot of people don't either spend enough or they just can't deal with it, and they pull way out less than they need to actually live on because the feeling of that money coming down is just too mentally taxing. So by taking an early withdrawal on your IRA dollars, those things that you've saved, feel like what that's gonna look like when you see your statements, those kind of things. So again, this is a little more symbolic than practical, but what I want you to get a feel for is how your life is going to change and how your financial life is going to change and how your mental framework going into retirement has to shift a little bit, because you're moving from a whole different stage of earn, grow to live, sustain, flexibility, freedom, all of that. And this is a good way, in my opinion, to start and try it. Okay, the third area is identity. And what I'm really talking about here is kind of the hobbies and passions side of the retirement journey. You'll hear a lot, oh, I'm gonna retire and play golf every day. That's kind of the standard mantra. A lot of people don't like to golf, man. A lot of people don't like to do a lot of things that are expected as kind of these normal things where, like George W. Bush quit being president and became a painter, for instance, and built a studio and really took off with that and made it kind of his daily thing. A lot of us don't have that or don't want that. We want kind of a schedule. We want to know what we're going to be doing. Well, that has to be test driven a little bit, in my opinion, too, where you've got to get a feel for what you're going to really want to do, some of the hobbies and passions that you want to pursue that are going to be suitable for you. And a big part of that, in my mind, is really self-knowledge. understanding yourself. I'm a big proponent of the Enneagram, and if you haven't ever taken an Enneagram test, I know there's the Myers-Briggs and lots of personality metrics out there, but I found the Enneagram to be very, very helpful in understanding ourselves, how we tick, also how we grow, in areas where we're going to find a lot of energy and freedom. And so by understanding a little bit about what makes you tick and what areas you could pursue that you haven't even thought about that might really bring you joy and bring you some fulfillment is important to do before you retire. Covered a lot of ground today, talked about a lot of new things around the 59.5 rebellion. Our next video, we're going to discuss the identity of retirement, the geography, the relationships, and the need for financial flexibility. So please subscribe below. We'll have a full playlist on the 59.5 rebellion. Thank you so much for joining us.